Ever spend 20 minutes fiddling with a router bit, trying to get that perfect depth, only to realize you're off by a hair? It is the kind of frustration that ruins a good piece of walnut. That is where this little gadget comes in. It is a digital height gauge that basically takes the guesswork out of setting up your table saw or router. When you first pick it up, it feels surprisingly light, mostly plastic, which might make you wonder about its longevity, but it keeps the footprint small enough to tuck into a crowded drawer without a second thought. What really makes this thing useful is how it handles the fine details. You are looking at accuracy down to 1/1000th of an inch. For most of us, that is more precision than we actually need, but having that level of confidence when you are dialing in a dado or a mortise is a massive relief. The display is crisp and clear, so you aren't squinting under the shop lights trying to figure out if you are at a 16th or a 32nd. Switching between metric and imperial is just a single button press, which is a nice touch if you find yourself jumping between different project plans. Now here is the part that actually matters in the shop: the magnetic feet. They grip onto the cast iron of a table saw or the base of a fence with enough strength to keep the unit from sliding around while you are making adjustments. It stays put, which means you can focus on moving the blade or the bit rather than holding the gauge steady. There's also a locking screw on the side. It is a simple mechanical addition, but it is vital for locking in a measurement once you have found that sweet spot. It prevents the rule from drifting, which is a common headache with cheaper tools. It runs on a standard wafer battery, and honestly, it is nice that they include one in the box so you can get to work immediately. But if there is a downside, it is that the plastic construction does feel a bit utilitarian. It is not going to survive being dropped on a concrete floor a dozen times, so you have to treat it with a little bit of care. Also, because it is so compact, it can sometimes feel a little top-heavy if you are not careful with how you position it on a narrow surface. Still, for the price, it is hard to argue with the results. It turns a tedious, trial-and-error process into a quick, repeatable task. If you are tired of wasting scrap wood just to check your blade height, this is one of those small investments that pays for itself in saved material and sanity. It is not a heavy-duty piece of industrial machinery, but for the home woodworker who just wants their joints to fit together perfectly the first time, it is a pretty solid companion to have on the workbench. It does exactly what it claims to do, and sometimes that is all you really need.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.